Hey guys, your girl Kina, back in another video, and today we're going to be going back to our roots and doing a series I like to call Ramblings of a WWE Fan. And first off, let's talk about it. WrestleMania season, it got the theme of triple threat. It just does. Even with Stand and Deliver, the main event is a triple threat match between Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Trick Williams for the NXT Championship, which I love. I genuinely love it, and I don't know who. You know what? Oba has to win to me, but I like the triple threat idea is cool, but I just wonder where is the origin of that being the theme. We have the women's match, and then we have the match with Roman and CM Punk and Seth. So like, they just think about it on top of their head because it's very random. I feel as though it's random, but you know how those, hey, this just came to my head. You know how those slot machines are where you get a match out three? Maybe they're just doing three. I don't know. Last year, the WrestleMania I don't know, I got the feeling that the theme was overcoming a big obstacle. Sami Zayn defeating Gunther, Roman Reigns being defeated by Cody Rhodes, Damage Control finally being bested by the big three, Bayley taking down Io. So maybe that, I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. And to be honest, when it comes to the build for the women's triple threat match, it's very interesting because there's no real decent way to put Rhea into the situation. It's really no right way to put her in there because she doesn't deserve to be in there. As in any other situation with a championship match, she doesn't really deserve to be in there, considering the fact she did lose. So that's on her for losing, and on her for giving Io that shot. But it just is very interesting to see how her character is evolving. And with Rhea Ripley, I'm not upset about how she gets booked, but I do think you block yourself into a corner when you book Rhea as this strong person and doesn't want to take accountability, but also where it kind of seems as if her booking really benefits her. And I just think a lot of people are upset about that. I personally like the fact that Rhea is strong. It's just she needs to have some more depth in her character, and the moment where I feel as though they allowed her to show some depth was a backstage promo after her loss with Io. But then her actions next week just erased all of that. She's really becoming a brat, and it's really, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And then the fact that the European crowd is literally acting as like they're cheering her because she's super over, fine, but her actions are lining up as a heel, and I genuinely think that she kind of was trying to turn heel, but the crowd just didn't let her. And personally, I would have booed her. Genuinely, I think that if Bianca loses at WrestleMania, she deserves a championship match whenever she wants to have it. Period, point blank, because she actually deserves the position of having a Mania championship opportunity. She's the only one who deserves it. I said what I said because at the end of the day, Rhea's the reason why that match messed up anyway on Monday. So whose fault is that? Hers. So she should be able to reap the consequences. And hopefully, I'm gonna let things sit. Hopefully they allow her to really grow as a character, so where she realizes where she was wrong and the way that you do have to take accountability for your actions, and your actions don't only affect you, but it affects everybody. It creates a domino effect. And maybe she started thinking about the fact that she kind of made Liv Morgan into a very bitter person, to the point where she did go on that revenge tour, rightfully so. Who knows? But as neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, you know who I'm cheering for. I'm cheering for Bianca. And speaking of Mania, Logan Paul is having a Mania match against AJ Styles, which I've already voiced my disappointment in that. That's cool. But he does a great move on AJ Monday, which caused a conversation of, do you separate the art from the artist? Some people, I saw a post where he was like, how are you able to, support these superstars that have done wrong, yet you don't, appreciate what Logan Paul does? And personally, I don't care about none of that. I really do not. If you have shown yourself to be a kind of a jerk or a douchebag, I'm not really gonna like you. Yeah, I'm not separating art from artist. Now, in certain situations, like with WWE, it was created by somebody that has done terrible things, but I still like WWE because it's not just one person. In instances like that, that is where I separate the line. That's where it's like, okay, cool, I'm still gonna watch WWE. That person is gone, so I'm really gonna still watch WWE. And then also, when you just don't know. But I know enough about certain people to where it's like, okay, all right. And if you are one of those people that separate the art from the artist, when is the line drawn? When is too much too much? People still kind of, want to give Chris Benoit some sort of, give him his props. But you don't need to do that. For real, you really don't need to do that, because he's not the only person in the world to create art like that. Or with Hulk Hogan, like, I'm not gonna just give Hulk Hogan some credit out of nowhere, because at the end of the day, he's a terrible person, low key, not even low key. So where's the line drawn whenever it's something you care about? So I like to keep it even. If you being weird, you being weird, and I kind of don't really rock with you. And Logan Paul, to me, he doesn't really add anything spectacular for me to even be like, okay, maybe I can weigh my options. That isn't there. It just isn't. Because I know some folks in that back that can do those moves. Number one. Number two, the mic work, shoddy. He does the same thing. There's no depth in his character. It's the same thing. And it just lands flat sometimes. Like, the crowd likes playing around with Logan Paul, where they are seriously don't like the guy. But also, when there's a superstar, like, when the CM before the Elimination Chamber, CM Punk was giving this man openings. The other men in that ring was giving that man openings, yet things fell flat. So there's never been a time where I'm like, maybe I gotta give it to, like, I might give the dude props and say, hey, you know what, he can do what he gotta do. But let's keep in mind who he been in the ring with. The man's been in the ring with vets. He's been in the ring with people that are great wrestlers. So for me to even start the discussion, be in the ring with somebody that you on the same playing field, where I'm really gotta see your work ethic. That's how. It's just like, I really don't gotta pull out the whole let me judge whether or not I'm gonna really rock with you when ain't nothing spectacular or grandiose has came out of. Look, well, to go keep a spade. And y'all just let me know if there is anybody where y'all is like, okay, I'm gonna separate the art from the artist. I just think, like, racism, the racism Hulk Hogan has been on versus, what he has done with WWE right now in this era, it don't matter, because this racism is real. The racism that he been on, you can't look past it. You can't. I'm sorry, you just can't. So I'm not judging on that either. I will never think about it. None of that. Next, Rambles. It's like, I expected this conversation to be brought up because, it's easy. It's easy, and it makes sense because these two fan bases have just been going against each other, for 3 years now? It makes sense, and the biggest person that rivals the other person is, and it's Roman Reigns and CODY RHODES. So they're going to continuously get compared, even though, at this point, why? At this point, why? But neither here nor there. Cody Rhodes, he really was able to hold his own. The promo with John Cena, I give him his props because he was able to hold his own. Was he lying? Yeah, he was lying. He was doing some Cody lies, but that's okay. You know, the crowd still pop. That's all that matters. That's all that matters if the crowd pops. So in my head, you know what I'm saying, I was just personally going to think that the internet, the Cody fans, was just going to be like, you know what, y'all thought Cody couldn't handle it. He did, he didn't cook. And I thought it was going to end there. No. But then I was like, oh, there's that promo from 2017. I don't know the year. There's a promo for 2017 that they're going to bring up. The Roman Reigns and John Cena one. I feel like it's so stupid. You know, it's so stupid to me because, well, of course to me. It's so stupid because there's two different type of superstars. The version of Roman Reigns that went against this John Cena that cooked him, rightfully so. The man forgot his lines, all of that. He grew from that, which thank you, John Cena. Character development for a tribal chief. That Roman Reigns, I believe, was 5 years in the main roster. And let's not count the fact that he was a part of the Shield and he was playing the silent, strong type versus a current 2025 Cody Rhodes that has been in the business for about 18 years. Of course, of course, the 18-year vet Cody Rhodes is gonna do better than a 5-year Roman Reigns into the main roster. Like, that's obvious. I could tell you that. Anybody in the world could tell you that, yeah, Cody Rhodes is gonna do better than 2017 Roman Reigns. It's like, why are you comparing the two? Why are we doing that? That makes no sense to me, personally. Like, when y'all were watching that promo, did y'all think to yourself, 2017 Roman Reigns and John Cena? Man, that was terrible compared to this. No, you're watching the promo. Like, at this point, we just looking for reasons. We're just looking for reasons. And then y'all get mad at certain fans for saying something when y'all continue to say stuff about Roman. Like, and then the Cody fans ain't alone. Like, at some point, we gotta be like, all right, this is getting old. Same thing with Rhea and Liv fans. To my surprise, it's still going on. For some reason, it's still going on, and it's been dead for a little while. I really do have to shout out the Jade fans and Naomi fans, because they've been keeping it civil. They like throwing their jokes here and there. Some people get a little weird with it, but it's not to the point where you're like, all right, bro. All right, let's be for real. I don't see anybody being like, oh, look at this this multi-year vet Naomi versus Cargill. Like, there's barely any of that. We're just enjoying the ride, which I do have to say it's been a great ride we've been on. I think a lot of people might be like, this is biased, and it may be a tad bit biasness into it, but I believe that their feud has just been the best Mania feud we've seen. It just has. And as I've said, I wasn't all the way there for the Naomi heel turn being due to her just not liking Jade. That's a solid route. But off of straight jealousy, I was rocking with that, because what does Naomi have to be jealous for? But with the way they've done it and the way that Naomi has expressed herself over these actions, I'm fine with it. But honestly, you can see the commitment and the effort both of these women are putting into the storyline. So it has to be my favorite storyline for Mania, which is crazy to me that the match has not been, like, announced. But I will say, hopefully on Friday this match does get announced. Maybe, and I want this match to be a no holds bars match, no disqualification match, because the amount of heat these two have, one of these women are cheating. Well, Naomi's gonna be smart about it. And honestly, if that gets her though, I don't really care. But still, the amount of friction, yeah. That's kind of the same way I feel about Jay and Gunther. With the actions, with Gunther's actions on Monday, Jay can't have a regular match with Gunther at all. There cannot be a regular match. We gotta have chairs, we gotta have kendo sticks, we have to have all that. You cannot have like a regular match with this one. They gotta go all in. It'll be beautiful. It will make the match so much better and a pop, because that man went for the jugular when it came to Jey Uso. It was amazing, honestly. That really heated things up, but consistently it's been Naomi and Jade that has had the best build, because they putting it all into it. Because as I've said multiple times, the women are going to work with what they are given, and the women are going to show out when they're given the opportunities to show out. Which I'm really concerned a little bit about what we're doing for the mid-card titles at Mania for the women. Because you can see they can do anything with the U.S. Championship, and it makes sense. Same thing with the Intercontinental Championship with the men. There's something building up. But for the women, we have a running gag with Chelsea Green, which is fine. Fine. But if there's no backup, whoever going against Chelsea, you're losing. You're straight up losing. Which I could possibly see Zelina going against her, or Michin, and then either Zelina, Michin, BFAB, they're gonna be there and helping things out. That'll be a cool match. Now for the IC Championship, we got Raquel and Liv Morgan trying to do something to Lyra. Liv Morgan and Raquel are tag team champions. What are they doing trying to chase an IC championship when you freaking have Natalya, you have Ivy Nile, you have Maxine? If you want to put in some little short, sweet with Maxine, get her some time in. You got Maxine. You literally have women you can use. Why are we? And then although Lyra does have a match with Bayley on Monday, something's happening. Either Roxanne or Liv and Raquel are gonna mess that match up. What are we doing? Why introduce these titles? I really wanted these titles to be introduced, but what are we doing? Why introduce these titles and not have anything for them? Especially at Mania, and this being their first Mania with mid-card titles, you really need to have them on a show. You know, pre-show it, fine. If we gotta go to pre-show days, I'm cool with that. Just have them on the show. Just have them on the show, because these titles are already kind of getting overshadowed. Because what are we? We're not even getting anywhere with Chelsea. I enjoyed it for a little while, but it's getting old. Lyra, she's not having enough time to build up her character. The character work is really limited. I think that there could be more with her character, if that makes any sense. But y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Y'all let me know how you guys are feeling about the WrestleMania build and the matches that they have already confirmed. And I'd like to thank you for watching my video, and I hope y'all enjoyed this ramblings of a WWE fan. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!